Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something really interesting, a perspective on forgiveness that might make you think twice.
Yeah, it's definitely thought-provoking. We're drawing from a speech called Forgiveness with Limits, the Dharma of True Justice.
Okay.
And it digs into the wisdom of Sanātana Dharma, which, is often seen as this eternal way, the righteous path.
Right, Dharma. So our goal here, I guess, is to really unpack what this forgiveness with limits idea means.
Exactly. And why the source sees it as, well, absolutely vital for justice and keeping Dharma in balance.
Because, we often hear the opposite, don't we? Like endless forgiveness, unconditional, that's the highest path. But this speech seems to push back on that quite hard. Says it's not always just.
It does, right away. It poses the question.
Yeah.
Is that kind of forgiveness really justice?
Yeah.
Or, is it even strength? Sanātana Dharma, it emphasizes wisdom, right? Balance. It's not about just blind mercy. The core idea is that forgiveness, kṣhamā, it's a virtue, yes, but only when it actually supports Dharma, supports righteousness.
So not when it ends up enabling the opposite, adharma.
Precisely. Not when it allows injustice to flourish.
That's a really key distinction. It's not about refusing to forgive, but about judging when it's right, being discerning.
Exactly. Discerning.
How do the ancient texts show this in action? Does the speech give examples?
Oh, absolutely. It goes right to the sources. There's a powerful quote from the Mahābhārata.
Okay, the epic.
Yeah, from the Ujoga Parva section. Bhuma is advising Yudhishthira, and he says something like, "He who forgives indiscriminately invites evil."
Wow.
But, he adds, he who never forgives becomes a tyrant.
So the balance again?
Right. Therefore, forgive according to Dharma and act according to your strength. It's about wise action, not just passive forgiveness.
That's crystal clear. Forgive wisely, act strongly. And the speech also mentions Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gītā.
Yes, absolutely. Think about Arjuna on the battlefield. He's hesitant, right? He wants to step back, thinking it's compassion.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fight his kin.
But Krishna tells him, arise. He calls that hesitation weakness, not worthy. He even calls it cowardice dressed as compassion.
Strong words. So mercy isn't enough on its own.
According to this perspective, no. Mercy without courage, without discernment, can actually lead to surrendering to injustice. True strength involves knowing when action is needed to uphold righteousness, to prevent more harm.
That makes sense. It's not just about feeling compassionate, but about the outcome of your actions or inactions.
Precisely.
And Lord Rama, too, in the Rāmāyaṇa, how does he fit in?
Well, think about how Rama treats Vibhīṭana, Ravanta's brother. Vibhīṭana repents, joins Rama, and receives mercy.
Okay.
But Ravan, the one who persists in wrongdoing, he faces righteous judgment. It shows that forgiveness should protect the innocent, right? Not empower those who keep doing harm.
Right. It can't be used to shield the wicked from consequences indefinitely.
Exactly. And that brings us to the wider impact. The speech uses this really vivid image.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a snake keeps biting you, and you just keep forgiving it. Who's suffering?
Well, me, obviously.
Yes, but not just you. Think about everyone else that snake might bite, because you never stopped it.
Ah, right. Your forgiveness in that case might actually betray your responsibility to protect others.
That's the point. Limitless forgiveness, without considering the consequences for the wider community, can actually enable more suffering.
It's a heavy thought. And there's a quote from the Manusmriti, too, an old legal text.
It's something like, the one who punishes justly is not cruel, but a protector of righteousness.
So holding people accountable when done justly is actually seen as protecting the good, not just being harsh.
Exactly. It frames justice not as cruelty, but as a necessary act to uphold Dharma.
But how does the source stop this from sounding like, just an excuse for revenge?
That's crucial. It explicitly says forgiveness with limits is not lesser, it is holier. Yes. Described as mercy guided by courage and compassion shaped by clarity. The focus remains on upholding Dharma, protecting the innocent, not on personal payback.
Mercy guided by courage. I like that. It reframes forgiveness entirely. And the speech goes even further, right? Something about even God.
Yeah, a very direct statement. Even God does not forgive without condition. Karma is real. Dharma is real. Justice is sacred. And then the punchline, and without justice, forgiveness becomes a tool for tyrants.
A tool for tyrants. That implies that just letting everything slide can actually empower oppression.
It suggests that accountability is a sacred part of the cosmic order. It's intertwined with genuine compassion.
So wrapping this up,
Hmm.
what's the main takeaway for us, for you listening? It seems this deep dive is really asking us to rethink forgiveness.
Yeah.
To see it not just as letting go, but as a conscious choice, a courageous one sometimes, knowing when forgiveness truly heals and uplifts, and when actually setting clear boundaries, demanding accountability is the more righteous, the more protective path.
Absolutely. And it leaves us with a challenging question, maybe something for you to reflect on.
Go on.
This whole perspective, it really pushes us to think about our wider responsibilities, not just our own feelings, but how our choices impact justice for everyone. So the question is, where in your own life, perhaps, could embracing this idea of forgiveness with limits actually lead you to greater wisdom and maybe even greater strength?